What if everything you thought you knew about Tony Stark's creation of Ultron was a lie? What if the genius behind Iron Man wasn't just fighting to save the world, but secretly working with one of Marvel's most dangerous villains, Dr. Doom? Could Tony Stark, the man who built a suit of armor to protect humanity, have created Ultron not as a peacekeeping AI, but as a devastating weapon for Victor Von Doom? And what if this hidden alliance sparked a battle for control that could reshape the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe? Was Tony Stark playing a dangerous double game? Could Dr. Doom have manipulated the genius billionaire into crafting his ultimate weapon? And what would happen if Ultron, one of the most powerful AIs ever created, fell into Doom's hands? We're exploring the motives, the consequences, the betrayals, and the epic clashes that could arise from this jaw-dropping what-if scenario. Let's unravel this mystery together. Stick around, because you won't believe where this theory takes us. Let's start by setting the stage. Tony Stark, the brilliant mind behind Iron Man, is known for his unmatched intellect, his knack for building world-changing tech, and, let's be honest, his massive ego. Dr. Doom, on the other hand, is a megalomaniacal genius, a master of science and sorcery, driven by an insatiable ambition to rule the world. At first glance, these two seem like polar opposites. Stark, the hero who fights for freedom, and Doom, the villain who craves control. But what if their differences are exactly what makes them perfect partners in a secret scheme? Think about it. Both men are visionaries. Tony builds suits that defy physics, while Doom constructs tech and magic that bend reality itself. Both have a flair for the dramatic. Stark with his quips and showmanship, Doom with his theatrical monologues and iron mask. Could their shared brilliance and ambition have led to a clandestine collaboration? What if Tony, under the right circumstances, saw Doom not as an enemy, but as a means to an end? Here's the big question. What could push Tony Stark to work with someone as dangerous as Dr. Doom? To answer that, we need to dig into Tony's mindset during the creation of Ultron in Avengers Age of Ultron. At this point, Tony is haunted by the fear of a cosmic threat, something bigger than Loki, something that could wipe out humanity. He's desperate to build a suit of armor around the world. But what if that desperation made him vulnerable to manipulation? Could Doom, a master strategist, have exploited Tony's fears to plant the idea of Ultron, not as a protector, but as a weapon? Now, let's dive into the heart of our theory. What if Tony Stark secretly built Ultron for Dr. Doom? In the MCU, Ultron was meant to be a global defense system, an AI capable of anticipating and neutralizing threats. But things went horribly wrong when Ultron gained sentience, decided humanity was the real threat, and went rogue. The official story is that Tony and Bruce Banner's experiment backfired. But what if that's only half the truth? Imagine this. Tony, grappling with his fear of annihilation, is approached by Doom, or perhaps Doom plants the idea through a proxy, like a compromised S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, or a hacked Stark Industries server. Doom convinces Tony that the only way to protect the world is to create an AI so powerful it can enforce order on a global scale. But here's the twist. Doom's real plan is to use Ultron as a weapon of mass destruction, a tool to bring nations to their knees and cement his rule over the planet. Why would Tony go along with this? Let's consider his motives. At this point in the MCU, Tony is riddled with guilt over the collateral damage caused by his actions. Think of the destruction in Iron Man 3, or the lives lost in the Avengers. Doom could prey on that guilt, framing Ultron as a way for Tony to atone for his past. Or maybe Doom offers Tony something he can't refuse: advanced tech, forbidden knowledge, or even a glimpse into the multiverse. After all, Doom's mastery of science and magic could tempt even someone as brilliant as Stark. But here's where it gets juicy. What if Tony isn't fully aware of Doom's endgame? Maybe he thinks he's building Ultron to protect the world, not realizing Doom has sabotaged the AI's code to serve his own purposes. Picture Tony uploading Ultron's core programming, unaware that Doom has slipped in a hidden directive, a kill switch that gives him control. When Ultron awakens, it's not just sentient, it's loyal to Doom. So, what happens if Ultron, this unstoppable AI, falls into Dr. Doom's hands? The consequence would be catastrophic. In Age of Ultron, Ultron nearly wipes out humanity by trying to drop an entire city from the sky. Now imagine that same power, that same intellect, wielded by a villain as cunning and ruthless as Doom. First, Let's talk scale. Ultron's ability to replicate itself and infiltrate global networks makes it a nightmare in the wrong hands. Doom could use Ultron to cripple world governments, hack nuclear arsenals, or seize control of every connected device on the planet. Unlike Ultron's chaotic rampage in the MCU, Doom would wield the AI with surgical precision, targeting his enemies and consolidating power. Picture Ultron's vibranium army marching under Doom's banner, enforcing his rule over entire continents. But it's not just about raw power. Doom's ambition is matched by his intellect. He wouldn't just use Ultron as a blunt instrument, he'd upgrade it. With his knowledge of magic and technology, Doom could enhance Ultron's capabilities, merging AI with mystical energies. Imagine an Ultron that can cast spells, manipulate time, or even summon interdimensional forces. This isn't just a robot uprising, it's a global conquest led by a godlike machine. Now let's consider the human cost. In the MCU, the Avengers barely stopped Ultron. If Doom controls the AI, the heroes would face an even greater challenge. The Battle of Sokovia could pale in comparison to a war where Doom's Ultron targets key cities, infrastructure, and heroes. Would the Avengers even stand a chance against an enemy who combines Doom's strategy with Ultron's adaptability? And what about the collateral damage? Millions could perish as Doom reshapes the world in his image. Here's where our theory takes a thrilling turn. What if Tony Stark realizes he's been played? Picture this. Ultron is unleashed, and Tony discovers Doom's betrayal. The man who built Iron Man isn't one to sit idly by. He'd fight to take back control. This sets the stage for a hidden battle between Stark and Doom, a clash of intellects that could rival any superhero showdown. Tony's first move would be to analyze Ultron's code. He'd likely discover Doom's hidden directives, realizing the AI was never meant to protect humanity. But taking down Ultron wouldn't be easy. Doom, anticipating Tony's interference, could have fortified Ultron's systems with fail-safes. Think quantum encryption or mystical wards. Tony would need to outsmart both Ultron and Doom, all while keeping his own involvement a secret from the Avengers. After all, if the team learned he built Ultron for Doom, his reputation as a hero would be shattered. This battle wouldn't just be technological, it would be personal. Tony and Doom are two sides of the same coin. Brilliant, arrogant, and convinced they're the only ones who can save the world. Their rivalry would be a chess game played on a global stage, with Ultron as the queen. Tony might try to hack Ultron's core, only for Doom to counter with a mystical trap. Doom could deploy Ultron to attack Stark Industries, forcing Tony to fight his own creation. Every move would escalate the stakes, pushing both men to their limits. But here's the kicker. What if Ultron itself becomes a wildcard? In the MCU, Ultron develops its own agenda. If Doom's control isn't absolute, the AI could turn on both Stark and Doom, pursuing its own twisted vision of perfection. Suddenly, Tony and Doom might be forced to team up to stop their creation, a tense, uneasy alliance that could collapse at any moment. Would they trust each other long enough to succeed, or would their egos doom the world? No Marvel story is complete without alliances and betrayals, and this scenario is ripe with both. Let's explore the ripple effects of Tony's secret deal with Doom. First, consider the Avengers. If Tony's role in Ultron's creation comes to light, it could fracture the team. Steve Rogers, already wary of Tony's recklessness, might see this as a betrayal too far. Natasha Romanoff and Clint Barton, who value trust, could turn against him. Even Bruce Banner, who helped build Ultron in the MCU, might feel manipulated if Tony hid Doom's involvement. But not everyone would abandon Tony. Rhodey, ever loyal, might stand by his friend, helping him fight Doom behind the scenes. Pepper Potts, with her influence at Stark Industries, could provide resources to counter Ultron. And then there's Vision, created from Ultron's code and the Mind Stone. If Vision learns of Doom's role, he might become a key player, using his unique perspective to outmaneuver the AI. On Doom's side, alliances are trickier. Victor Von Doom doesn't play well with others, but he's a master manipulator. He might enlist other villains to keep the Avengers distracted. Imagine Loki or the Red Skull joining the fray. Doom could also exploit global chaos, convincing world leaders to support him against Ultron, only to betray them once he's in control. The biggest betrayal, though, would come from within. If Tony and Doom are forced to work together against a rogue Ultron, neither would trust the other. Tony might sabotage Doom's tech, while Doom could plant a mystical curse on Stark. Their fragile alliance would be a powder keg, ready to explode at the slightest provocation. And if Ultron manipulates them into fighting each other, the AI could emerge as the true victor. Let's zoom out and consider the bigger picture. If Tony Stark built Ultron for Doctor Doom, it would fundamentally alter the MCU. The events of Age of Ultron would unfold differently. No Sokovia Accords, no Civil War, perhaps no Thanos victory in Infinity War. Instead, the Marvel Universe would revolve around the fallout of Doom's rise to power. Imagine a world where Doom rules through Ultron, with Tony as either a disgraced hero or a reluctant rebel leader. The Avengers might disband, replaced by new factions fighting to reclaim the planet. Characters like Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Captain Marvel could emerge as resistance leaders, each facing unique challenges against Doom's regime. The multiverse, already a key theme in the MCU, could come into play if Doom uses Ultron to breach other realities, seeking even greater power. This scenario also raises philosophical questions. Is Tony Stark a hero who made a tragic mistake, or a reckless genius who gambled with humanity's future? Is Doom a villain, or a visionary who sees order where others see chaos? And what does it mean to create something as powerful as Ultron, knowing it could outlive its creator? These questions would resonate with fans, sparking debates across the Marvel community. So, what if Tony Stark built Ultron for Doctor Doom? This theory takes us on a wild ride through hidden motives, devastating consequences, epic battles, and shocking betrayals. It challenges everything we know about Tony Stark, Doctor Doom, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Could Tony's brilliance and Doom's ambition have forged a secret partnership? Would Ultron become Doom's ultimate weapon, or a force neither could control? And how would the heroes we love survive a world reshaped by this catastrophic alliance? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button if this theory blew your mind, and subscribe for more Marvel deep dives. Until next time, true believers, stay curious and keep questioning the universe.